Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead. A quick reminder to subscribe to this channel below to receive alerts and daily market analysis videos. On the economic calendar for today, we have no high impact news scheduled. In the currencies, the US dollar index will continue to test its lows, and in the comms, I'm waiting on a deeper pullback from both gold and silver. In the global indices and equities in focus, I wait on clarity as the bulls continue to fight to regain control of the markets. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Kicking off with the currencies, we've got the euro against the US dollar still within its range, and so I've got a level of support resistance here. I want to see if we hold with that today and then kick off on that. So really looking to see that dollar index break outside of its range, and this will impact cable as well. So despite all the Brexit stuff going on, a weaker US dollar would of course strengthen the euro and the pound. So just looking at that, you can see that cable is at the top of its range, and so looking to see that breakout. Then CAD yen. So these were a couple of swing trading opportunities. There is no setup for me today in this. I was looking for a nice pullback. That looks as though that's going to head a little bit higher. Euro yen, on the other hand, is looking pretty good. So if I get a nice bearish candle here, I'll be looking for a swing entry on the break of the low of that tomorrow. And then if I look at Kiwi Swissy. So again, this is pullback, bearish candle. It's headed to the downside. So this was on my list as well. I spoke about this yesterday, and so this appears to have triggered and is heading down. So for the moment, that is all going according to plan, and that's it for currencies for today. So now taking a look at the commodities, looking at gold. So I've got this level of support and resistance. This is a weekly time frame. We've had quite a strong move up, and what I'd really like to see is a weekly retracement, which would mean that we have a short-term downtrend on the daily and then resume that uptrend. So keeping an eye on whether we push through this level or whether we manage to reject it. So we're currently forming a rejection candle, and all of that is going according to plan. Would be a very nice healthy retracement, implying that gold has got a longer-term uptrend in terms of its future. You can see silver forming a bit of a bearish candle there to reject that level. Now taking a look at the US Brent oil. This is back up against this level, forming a bearish candle, so I'm looking to see if it rejects this level and forms a swing high with a potential shorting opportunity, certainly at least down to this next level of support. Now, palladium as well has had a very nice bullish run. At some point, my expectation is to see it come back to test this level, but at least, if nothing else, come back into those moving averages, and it's had a really, really good run, nice and bullish. So looking for any retracements in palladium for entry opportunities there to the upside. And then finally on my list, at least for today, is sugar. So sugar has actually broken right through this level of support, found no resistance there, and so that's not ideal for me. I was looking for a nice rejection candle here to resume this trend to the downside. So for the moment, this is not a valid setup for me, and I'm going to pass on it and keep an eye on it over the next couple of days. Right, so if we have a look at the global indices, and we can see here on the daily time frame, certainly on Wall Street, pushing a little bit higher, still encountering some strong resistance there. If we look at the S&P 500, there is a pretty bullish candle there, actually looking as though it's breaching this current level. Let's see if it heads up to this next level before the end of the week. And we've got the US Tech 100 as well. Again, as I said, I'm looking for these to form bullish candles here. Whether they're small or not is I'm not too concerned about that, but interesting to see if we do get this breaking through this current level of resistance and finishing up a little bit higher by the end of the week. Then just having a look at, say, the UK 100. So as we leave the US again, because for the first time that I can recall, there's a big difference between the US growth, the US markets, and everyone else. So looking at the UK, we're producing a bearish candle here against the level of resistance. So if we do close as a bearish candle here and break the low of that next week, we'll see this downtrend continue. And again, just jumping across to, say, Australia 200 as well, which has also been relatively bearish, but just showing you here that it's producing this bullish candle, trying to stay above this level of support. So there really is a mixture. There are definitely bulls present in the market at these levels, and let's see how they ultimately handle the rest of the week, but also keeping an eye on the weaker ones for potential shorting opportunities there. And that's really it for those global indices for today. And just recapping with the selected equities and focus on my list. So Apple, I know, has been in the news a lot lately, but for now, most of this behavior is pretty much standard with that trend. So for now, I'm going to stay with it to the downside. I know it might attempt to form a bullish setup similar to what we have with, say, Amazon. This is on a monthly time frame, trying to form a bit of a base potentially for a run up. But you know, there's a high probability, considering we've had the strong correction, that we might see continued sort of ranging behavior over over the coming months. Microsoft also producing a bullish candle here in the buy zone, and a break of this in February would indicate a potential run up to those previous levels. Then having a look at, say, Barclays, looking at the weaker ones, usually the more downtrending ones, maintaining it very similar here to Apple actually in its behavior, coming into a resistance level on the weekly time frame. I'll be looking for a swing high here as a potential swing entry to the downside there. And then just interesting ones, say Lloyd's, for example. Lloyd's here actually looking much more bullish, breaking through this level of resistance and continuing a lot higher. So this now actually forming a bit of a weekly retracement. There we go, and heading back up towards 54, and then potentially higher towards 55. So this is something I'll keep an eye on this one and keep it in a weekly time frame. So there we go, ladies and gents. I want to wish you a wonderful day, and from me again, if it's trending, I'll be there.
Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.